Okay, so I found out some time ago that you cannot help God. You really cannot help God. If you try to help God, He will literally break you if He has to. It is just an impossible feat. You cannot help God to do anything. You can't help Him to, fulfill His purpose over your life. You can't help Him to bring to pass something He has promised you quicker than it is supposed to happen. You literally cannot help God, because for every time you try, God will break you if He needs to. He will break a rib if He needs to. Okay, so let me tell you let me tell you the beautiful story of how I ended up on crutches for about 3 to 5 years of my life. This was literally when I learned that you cannot help God, no matter how much you tried. So some time ago, I think 2012, I was privileged to be zonal coordinator for my fellowship at the time, the NCCF, during my service year. And this responsibility comes with a lot of work. It comes with a lot of demand. It comes with a lot of things that you're supposed to put together and achieve. So on this particular occasion, we were preparing for a program. We're preparing for a program in the fellowship, and it was supposed to be a big program, like a really big one. So everybody was putting things together, doing stuff, and I'm that type of person. At the time then, I hadn't learned how to delegate duties. I would literally do everything myself, try to make everything work, try to make everything happen. So I was literally going everywhere, here and there, trying to put things in order, making sure this was in place, making sure that was in place, not asking for help as I should have. So on the day the accident happened that put me on crutches, sometime in the afternoonish period, my closest friend during service here, Femi, if he sees this video, he'll remember. My closest friend, he saw me there on a bike. I can't even remember what I was going to do, but I know it had something to do with that program, that event. So on this particular afternoon, Femi saw me on bike, and I was just leaving the house. He was coming to the house to visit. I used to stay in the family house, so I was leaving the family house on a bike, and he was coming in, and then he said, "Papa, what is your problem? Do you ever rest? Sit down one place, not kill yourself." It sounded as if it was a joke. We laughed it off. I just said, "I'm coming. I want to get something." And that's how I left the house. I went to do stuff, and I did so many things that day. I was here and there, here and there, here and there. And then at night I came back home, and then I was in the family house. And whilst we were in the family house, we had an amazing time in the night. Doctor came to visit us. Doctor happened to be our rabbi, that's Bible study coordinator. He came to visit us that particular night, and when he came, it was an amazing night. So he was going home. While he was going home, I decided, okay, let me walk you, right? Let me see you off to the bus stop. As a matter of fact, I just feel like walking. So I was going to see him off. While I wanted to see him off, Mama at the time, no, assistant Mama Ruth, said she needed car, that I should help her get on the way. So I collected money from her, and then me and Doctor, we went out of the house. And as we left, we got to the bus stop. He got in a bus and then went home. Now I was going to get the card. I got the card. I was coming home, and as soon as I was coming home, I was on this expressway. If you know Ede very well, there's this express road. I was on that particular road, and it was dark. It was very dark. It was about 9 p.m. in the night, and you know what Ede or Osun State can be like at 9 p.m. Everybody has gone to bed, right? Everybody has actually literally closed all the shops and so it was very dark. I was walking alone on that express road. This bike guy was coming from behind me. He didn't have his headlights. He didn't have horn. he was drunk driving, and he was driving really fast. So as he was coming, unfortunately, as soon as he got to where I was, he saw that there's someone there. Then on his left hand side where he could have swerved to, he saw that there's a pothole. So he wanted to escape the pothole. He swerved right and then crushed me down. Long story short, for 5 years I was on crutches after that accident. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is I was here and there going up and down trying to make things happen for the fellowship, trying to make sure that the program worked out, trying to ensure that we're able to do the things that we're going to do for that event and make it, perfect. I was doing here and there, doing here and there. And then I had this accident just 1 week to the program itself. Guess what? I was admitted at the hospital, of course. I had to be at the hospital past the program. On the day of the program held in the fellowship. I wasn't present. It went perfect, went well, even though I wasn't there, even though people were not, as littered up as they would have been because of the accident. But it still went well. And first thing that came to my mind on the day of the program was, Femi told you to sit down and rest. And in my head, I said to myself, everything I was trying to do was just a waste of time because I'm not there and stuff is still going on. Regardless of your input, God will make things happen in your life. He really doesn't need your help. He really doesn't need you to do anything whatsoever. If God has said something about your life, if God has made a promise, if there's been a prophecy over your life, if there has been a word over your life, and you are certain that it is from God, there is no way you're going to maneuver it to make it happen for yourself. It's not going to work. Trust me, it's not. So I watched a movie a few days back. I can't even remember the title of that movie, but in that movie, the lady, I think it's The Word. Yes, that's the title of the movie. The Word. You should see the movie anyways. The lady got a word from God that she was going to have a child of her own womb. 1 year, 2 years, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Meanwhile, she had been married for a long time. There wasn't anything. And then she was like, I heard your word and it's been over 9 months, nothing. I've not taken in. Long story short, she tried to convince her husband, let's go into surrogacy. Maybe that's what God wants us to do. And they did multiple surrogacies and every single one of it failed. Because you cannot help God. It's not something you can do, even if you tried. The man who got struck dead, Uzzah, while he was trying to help the Ark of Covenant, was actually doing his job. He was one of the soldiers who were supposed to be protecting the Ark. But then, when the Ark tripped, it was his responsibility to protect it. But you can't help God. It's something you cannot do. So I just want to tell you today that if there's been a word over your life, you can as well go to sleep and rest and relax. If God says it, He'll do it. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to say today. Thank you.